The Vilisca axe murders occurred between the evening of June 9, 1912, and the early morning of June 10, 1912, in the town of Villisca, Iowa, United States. The 6 members of the Moore family and 2 guests were found bludgeoned to death in the Moore residence. All 8 victims, including 6 children, had severe head wounds from an axe. The Moore family consisted of parents Josiah and Sarah, and their 4 children, Herman, Mary, Arthur, and Paul Vernon. The Moores were well known and well liked in their community. On June 9, 1912, Mary invited Ina May and Lena Gertrude Stillinger to spend the night at the Moore residence. That evening, the visiting girls and the Moore family attended the Presbyterian church where they participated in the Children's Day program, which the mother Sarah had coordinated. After the program ended at 9:30 p.m., the Moores and the Stillinger sisters walked to the Moore's house, arriving between 9:45 and 10 p.m. At 7 a.m. the next day, June 10, Mary Peckham, the Moore's neighbor, became concerned after she noticed that the family had not come out to do their morning chores. Peckham knocked on the Moore's door. When nobody answered, she tried to open the door and discovered that it was locked. Peckham let the Moore's chickens out and called Ross Moore, Josiah's brother. Like Peckham, Moore received no response when he knocked on the door and shouted. Ross unlocked the front door with his copy of the house key. While Peckham stood on the porch, Ross went into the house and opened the guest bedroom door, where he found Ina and Lena Stillinger's bodies on the bed. Moore immediately told Peckham to call Henry Horton, Vilisca's primary police officer, who arrived shortly thereafter. Horton's search of the house revealed that the entire Moore family and the 2 Stillinger girls had been bludgeoned to death. The murder weapon, an axe belonging to Josiah, was found in the guest room where the Stillinger sisters were found. Doctors concluded that the murders had taken place between midnight and 5 a.m. 2 spent cigarettes in the attic suggested that the killer or killers patiently waited in the attic until the Moore family and the Stillinger guests were asleep. The killers began in the master bedroom, where Josiah and Sarah Moore were sleeping. Josiah received more blows from the axe than any other victim. His face had been cut to such an extent that his eyes were missing. The killer or killers used the blade of the axe on Josiah while using the blunt end on the rest of the victims. Herman, Mary Catherine, Arthur, and Paul were next bludgeoned in the head in the same manner as their parents. Afterwards the murderer returned to the master bedroom to inflict more blows on the elder Moores, knocking over a shoe that had filled with blood, before moving downstairs to the guest bedroom and killing Ina and Lena. Investigators believed that all of the victims except for Lena Stillinger had been asleep when murdered. They thought that she was awake and tried to fight back as she was found lying crosswise on the bed, and with a defensive wound on her arm. Lena's nightgown was pushed up to her waist and she was wearing no undergarments, leading to law enforcement speculation that the killer sexually molested her or attempted to do so. Over time, many possible suspects emerged, including Reverend George Kelly, Frank Jones, William Mansfield, Loving Mitchell, Paul Mueller, and Henry Lee Moore. In their 2017 book, The Man from the Train, Bill James and his daughter Rachel discussed the Vilisca murders as part of a much larger series of murders which they believe were all committed by a single serial killer. They concluded the murderer was Paul Mueller, an immigrant possibly from Germany, but till this day with inadequate evidence, no one was ever convicted of the brutal murders.